What's good, people? Welcome to the DJ Kenny Parker Show. We do this every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to Spook Realm 4Q. He was the first one in the building today. I see the regulars, Dre Stack Dollars in the building. Ethan Sutton, what's good? Props from Missouri. Checking in while at work. What's good, Missouri? I think we did a show in St. Louis during my run, maybe one time. I got to go to where the Archers are in St. Louis. Gregory Nettis, what up? He says, congratulations to his Boston Celtics. Yes, congratulations to the Boston Celtics for winning the NBA championship. It is not easy to win a championship, y'all. A lot of things have to fall into place, and you have to peak at the right time, and you have to get a lot of bounces to go your way. So shout out to the Boston Celtics for bringing home the chip. Joey June, ready to go for the live. What's good, Joey? Joey Joe. I haven't seen that name before. Gregory Nettis said, yo, Kenny, if you had to pick one song, which one would you pick? Run DMC, Rock Box, Big Daddy Kane, Young Gifted, Tupac Ambitious, a Tribe Called Quest Award Tour, Sweet G, Games People Play, Special Ed, I Got It Made. Wow, man. Well, I'm going to say, what did I like at the time the most? I would have to say Rock Box. Funny thing, shout out to Sweet G, Games People Play. He used to be a counselor at a group home when my brother was staying in a group home in the Bronx. Sweet G used to be the counselor at the group home. This is right after his record was like on the radio. Games People Play was on the radio, and Sweet G was a counselor at my brother's group home. And I remember seeing him, and I remember thinking to myself, you got a record on the radio, you must be rich. Like, why are you working? You have a record on the radio, like you're a millionaire. Boy, didn't I know what was going on. Kathleen, what's good? Says, good evening, Kenny. How are you feeling this blessed Tuesday night? I'm feeling fantastic. Did you get to spend time with your brother Chris for Father's Day? No, I did not. He is on the road. And shout out to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day to you guys. Spook Realm says, by the way, DJ KP, I think Like a Throttle is one of the hardest battle records ever. Thank you very much. I produced that song on the Sex and Violence album, and I just got sent an email from somebody at Sony reconfirming the publishing splits on Sex and Violence. So it looks like they're about to release vinyl of the Sex and Violence album. That should be coming soon because they just cleared my songs that I did. So look out for that. I also want to say rest in peace to one of my favorite singers, the very underrated singer. Hold on a second. Yes, my girl who sings This Time Will Be Sweeter and Let Me Be the One. She had a stroke a few years back, and she lost her battle. So shout out to her. Emma Brown says, shots up Kenny Parker. Oh, I didn't even say her name. My bad. R.I.P. Angela Bofield. Bugging. Miss Angela Bofield, rest in peace. One of my favorite singers of all time. MMA Crossfire, what's good? JT in the building, what's good? What else? I see some people here shouting out Boston. I really like Luca a lot, man. So, yeah, but shout out to Boston. JT says Michi Me would be cool. Shout out to Michi Me. I do believe I met her in the 80s. which reminds me, we got a couple of cool guests that have confirmed for the show coming up. So be on the lookout for that. We just have to set up the scheduling, but a couple of people that I feel are interesting. And I'm only going to try to bring on people who I feel are interesting to talk to on the show. But we got a couple of nice guests coming up, y'all. And I hope everybody's staying cool out there in the U.S. because there's a heat wave going through. I got my air conditioner. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's blasting. Normally, I don't have the AC on, but it's hot here in the New York metropolitan area. So the AC is on. H. Bippy, what's good? Nicholas Gilmore, boom, boom. Come down, Kenny Parker. Yes, James Brown, Buffalo in the house. Stephen Brooks. DJ Platform 204 said, what's good, Kenny? Went to a Snoop Dogg concert last night in Winnipeg, Canada. Wow. He had a Dog Pound, Warren G, DJ Quick, Lady of Rage. That's dope. Last time I saw Snoop perform was at the Dr. Dre 2001 tour, which I believe was in like 2000. It was Dr. Dre and Eminem when Eminem's second album first dropped. So that's a long time ago. I've never met Snoop Dogg. As a matter of fact, I've never met anybody from the Death Row except for the Lady of Rage. Shout out to my girl, the Lady of Rage. She's the only person from that whole crew I've ever met. Rosmel, what up? Verse Pro, what up? Terrell McMillan, what's good? J4SON3R, what up, Kenny? Love and respect from the Netherlands. Whoa, shout out to the Netherlands. Whoa, I haven't been out there in years. Reggie Johnson, what up? ATL in the house. Stantastic, peace from Philly. Shout out to Philly. I always shout out Philly. Ed Olivier. Kenny, what's up? I missed a live last week with Red Alert, but I caught the rewind. Thank you so much for checking out. Thank you guys for checking out the rewinds and checking out all the interviews that we're doing. I really appreciate you guys, checking out what we're doing here. I'm trying to upgrade things and, bring guests, people that I know, and some of them, everybody that we've had on the show so far are people that I'm cool with. But I'm trying to get a bunch of different people to come on. And thank you guys for checking it out. I really appreciate it. Let me scroll down a little bit. JT says, H. Bippy in the house. Yes, it's always good with H. Bippy's in the building. 49er Neil, what's good? Chef Daddy, what's good? Emma Brown says, fear of a black planet. Shout out to Public Enemy. It'd be dope to get Chuck D on here. I really need to reach out to Chuck and see if he would come. Boy, that would be a real stretch, man. I really look up to Chuck D so much. It would be crazy to have him. Robbie the Danger, shout out to the chat section. What up, Robbie? Iron Walker, we need an interview with Mantronics, Howie T, and Herbie Lovebug for the culture. That would be dope. I've never met Mantronics. Maybe I can get his number from Just Ice. That would be dope. I'm going to reach out. I think I met Howie T once. I really have a lot of respect for Howie T. He would be dope too. And Herbie. I've never met Herbie Lovebug, but I think I met Howie T once. Shout out to him. Joey Joe says, Sweet G has been living in South Carolina for the past 25 years. Yes, and I do believe, if I'm correct, he was a counselor in the Bronx group home when a young KRS-ONE was there. Robbie the Danger, man, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your contributions to the channel always, man. It says my ex-wife interrupted half of the Red Alert Live, so I had to watch the finish of the re-up. Oh man, she came in there and broke it up. Well, thank you for catching the rewind. Red Alert is one of my heroes. I need to put his picture up. These people you see behind me on my wall are some of my heroes. I got Grandmaster Flash. I got Master G from Sugar Hill Gang. I got Super Rhymes up there. And I got, of course, my man Biz Marquis. That's family. But there's a few other people who I really, really look up to that I need to put in the little spaces there on the bottom. One of them is DJ Red Alert. He was my inspiration to become a DJ. So, yeah, shout out. I'm gonna put Red Alert's picture up there when I get a chance. Yeah. Thank you so much, Robbie, for that. Imperial J to MC, what's good? Joey Joseph, Sweet G was a police officer here in South Carolina. He's retired now. Oh, okay. I wonder if he remembers me. I used to come to that group home all the time up in the Soundview section. Yeah, Earl Green says R.I.P. Angela Bofield. Yes. What an incredible voice, man. What an incredible voice. Daniel the Don Freeman, what's good? Drew Ford, what's good? Let me scroll down a little bit. Damon Clark, what's good? DJ J Nice. Peace KP, guest idea. Teddy Ted, the Awesome 2, or Ralph McDaniels. Teddy Ted just texted me the other day, too. The Awesome 2 is so much like family. Those are people I feel like I can get them. I shouldn't even feel like that because, everybody has a schedule. There's so much family that I don't even be thinking about that. I need to bring the Awesome 2 up here and we have a nice conversation because they also broke a lot of records. They were on the radio in New York on independent radio, WHBI, WNWK. They used to come on at like 4 o'clock in the morning and play fire. 49 Neil says, RIP Angela Bofield. I Try is my shit. Yes. I Try, another banger. That made me real sad the other day. Anyway, what's up? What's your Juneteenth plans? I don't have any plans as of right now. Sterling Pickett, R.I.P. Angela Bofield. Yes, DJ Katie Hova, what's good? E Money, what's good? Rosamel said R.I.P. Angela Bofield and her friend Phyllis Hyman, who died years before. Yes, shout out to Phyllis Hyman. A tragic, tragic story, man. Tragic story. These women had incredible voices and incredible careers, and for some reason they never reached certain heights. But they reached heights, though. Don't get it twisted. But I think Phyllis Hyman struggled with wanting to be bigger than what she was, and she struggled with depression. Sad story because she had a lot of love for a lot of people. Jamil Live says, is Mad Lion putting out any new music? That's a good question. I need to ask him. It'd be dope if I bring him up here. Kathleen says, Penny, I think she meant Kenny. What made you fall in love with hip hop? That's a fantastic question. I go into great detail in the book about that. If you don't have the book, pick up the book. My brother's name is Kenny. The link is in the description below. I was around hip hop from literally day one. We lived down the block from Kool Herc in 73. And but I was a little kid, of course. But we were getting little bits of hip hop here and there when we were living in Brooklyn. We were getting little bits and pieces, like you could barely, like people were rapping, but it was like you could hear a tape for like a second. But when Rapper's Delight hit, when I heard Rapper's Delight, it all came together for me. We were aware of hip hop a couple years before that in New York, but Rapper's Delight really brought it together. That's when I fell in love. That's when I was like, this is it. Rapper's Delight. I'd have to say Rapper's Delight was the moment. I mean, hip hop was growing, but Rapper's Delight was the moment. Gregory Nettis says, nah, Boston had it. Luka is too soft and Kyrie didn't show up. Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown is like Jimmy Walker they was dynamite. I wouldn't say Luka's soft. I think, first of all, Luka was hurt. But I think Luka was okay. And they needed Luka to be at the top of his game, and Kyrie. They needed Kyrie to really be that 1-2 punch. I mean, if you look at you look at Dallas in the playoffs, Kyrie, when they were playing at their best, Kyrie and Luka were getting like 30 points apiece, and they didn't get that kind of production in the playoffs. And against the Celtics, that's not going to work, man. Let me scroll down a little bit, y'all. Spook Realm 4 says, I love your epic fail show. Thank you so much. I really appreciate these epic fails. I got a few more coming. I had a lot of epic fails, y'all, in my hip hop career. I just got to get a chance to really record them and put them out for you guys. I've been really focusing a lot on the lives. MMA Crossfire says Red Alert was an amazing conversation last week. Yes, he was. He really was very candid. And you know, it's dope when people share, go into detail. We like details on this channel. I for one like I want all the details. Even the little stuff that you think is not important, I want all that. And Red Alert was very candid, and his memory is really sharp too. So he was on top of stuff. Yes, if you guys didn't check out DJ Red Alert last week, it's on the live here on the channel. Just go back and you'll be able to find it. MMA Crossfire says, Robbie the Danger holding the fort down. Yes, he is. Robbie the Danger is killing on this channel. BG London says, big up from London. Big up from London, yo. London is my #1 favorite place in the world to visit. It reminds me of the Village in New York City, just big, and the hip-hop scene is off the hook. Corey Flood says, next special guest, Daddy-O from Stetson Sonic. You know, the thing is, a lot of these people, I have to get their numbers. It's getting in contact with people. You know, you have to kind of like hunt people down. Daddy-O has always been cool with me. I would love to have Daddy-O come through, talk about production, talk about Stetson Sonic, talk about the LQ. That would be dope. Our business says, yo, DJ Karen, we're still waiting on you on the Master G show. Oh, yes, my bad. Master G has a show, I do believe on Sirius. I will definitely be on that show. Big up DJ Iran on the chat. Big shout out to DJ Iran. Yes. Oh, shoot. Yes, please, let's set up that Master G show, please. MMA Crossfire agree. Yes, Red was great. Yes, he was. Oh, look at this. April 17th artwork. What's good? He says, I saw a special interview where he said Howie T is in bad health. I hope he has recovered since then. I did not know that. Get well, Hitman Howie T. We over the years have really appreciated your work. E-Money, what's good? April 7th artwork says, get these pioneers and originators on before they pass. Word. I mean, these guys are like walking history. They have so many stories and they're so important to the music. And these guys are just walking around. Like, you could go to events, go to park jams and stuff, and these guys are still like walking around. It's incredible. And everybody's getting up there in age. So yeah, we need to talk. I mean, even if it's not, I would love to get all these people on the DJ Kenny Parker show. But if not, if we can get some of these people on any platforms to just talk, or they create their own platforms, That would be dope, man. I want to hear everybody's story. Mr. says, Kenny, are you a DC or Marvel guy? I read both comics. I have to say I'm more of a Marvel guy. Jack Kirby's art was everything for me and my brother when we were growing up. Love and Gratitude says, give thanks for the show, KP. It's the truth. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We do this every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. JT, this is funny. JT says, I'd like to see Heather B back again soon. That show was crazy. Heather's crazy. Heather's, I do believe she's on the West Coast right now. Heather's real busy, but I need to get Heather back on the show. Maybe not here in the crib like last time, because she was a bit much, y'all, before she came on and after. Heather could come anytime. Let's see if we can get Heather B back on this show to stick her head in. Gregory Dennis says Kenny should ask Pam Grier to be his Valentine. Word up. Yo, Pam Grier, if you're watching, come on the show. Oh my God. Pam Grier has a crazy history though. Really, her career, it'd be very interesting to talk to her. Our businesses, what do y'all think about that new LL joint? I heard it for a second. I didn't really get a chance to get into it. I just heard it for a second, like a snippet. I'm glad LL is putting out new music. I'm a big LL Cool J fan. I think he's one of the most underrated rappers of all time. I don't think LL gets mentioned in the stature that he should be. Corey Flood, Prince Paul would also be an amazing guest. Are you kidding me? He absolutely would be incredible to get Prince Paul on here. I'm going to reach out to Prince Paul. See what's up. Me and Prince Paul has always been cool. My Eagle Wolf, what's up? Watching, listening as I'm in Pendleton, Oregon this evening. Oregon. Damn, what's going on in Oregon? What? Portland is in Oregon. I'm just trying to think. When I think of Oregon, I don't think what's going on in Oregon. My Eagle Wolf, what are you doing out there? Emma Brown said, I'd love to see an interview with Shinehead. Yeah, I'm a big Shinehead fan too. And my brother always says Shinehead inspired him when he was first coming up, working on the Criminal Minded album. Shinehead was one of his big inspirations. I think I was there when Shinehead and KRS met for the very first time. I do believe it was in like 90 or 89. It was a really dope meeting between the two of them. I was standing right there. Benny Doyle, shout out from Edmonton, Toronto for life. Yes, shout out to Toronto. You guys are getting a WNBA team too. Entertaining sports highlights. Did you ever meet Kango Kid from UTFO before he passed away? Absolutely. He used to come to Tony Touch. Shout out to my man Tony Touch. He used to have Toka Tuesdays in New York. For years he used to run Toka Tuesdays. And Kango Kid used to be there every week with the Kango on. Shout out to him. I do believe I met him, and I met Doc Ice. Doc Ice, that's my dude. He used to be signed to Jive. And Doc Ice is an incredible dancer, by the way. Doc Ice and Kango Kid, I met. And Mixmaster Ice, that's my dude too. Shout out to Mixmaster Ice. I never met the educated rapper. And I do believe there's one that I'm missing. It's Doc Ice, educated rapper. Kango Kid, Mixmaster Ice. Am I missing an MC? Let me scroll down a little bit. Yo, Kenny, wasn't the Awesome 2 down with BDP? I heard DJ Scott LaRock made them members of BDP. I've never heard Awesome 2 being down with BDP, like in the group. I've never heard that, although we're all very close. Like I said, Awesome 2 is family. And Chris has so much love for them, as I do. But I've never heard them say that. But I wasn't in the group. I was around when Scott LaRock was alive, but I wasn't a day-to-day member of BDP. I was down more with KRS than I was with BDP when Scott was around. So I was around sometimes, but I never heard them mention Awesome 2 being down with BDP. Let me scroll down a little bit. Somebody said Video Music Box made them fall in love with hip hop. Shout out to Ralph McDaniels, another one of the most important figures in hip hop history, man. I'm glad Nas did that. Nas did that documentary. Benny Dole, who says the line, "You're weightlifting, Willie D or Kenny"? Yes, I said that line. Actually, Chris told me to go in there and say that line. That was part of the whole rhyme. Chris said, go in there and say that part. Triggs 9802 says, your interviews be fire. Thank you, Triggs. I mean, I just try to ask the question. When I bring on people, I ask them stuff that I want to know, and I think people want to know. In the time that we have allotted, somebody mentioned Curtis Blow basketball. I need to get Curtis Blow. I would love to have Curtis Blow on this channel, man. A lot I would like to talk to him about. Here's an interesting. Graybeard says, your mom's response when you told her you were writing a book. I didn't really tell her I was writing a book. I just wrote it. For those of you that read the book, I mean, I don't really know what her response is. I didn't consult her at all. Let me scroll down a little bit. Let me scroll down. Ed Olivier, Kenny, did Supernatural hit you up when you dropped that epic fail with Craig G? No, Supernat has not hit me up about that. I need to catch up with Supernat, though. No, he has not hit me up about that. For those of you that don't know what Ed Olivier is talking about, I just dropped the Epic Fails Juice Crew a week ago. Check that out. I go into the Supernatural battle with Craig G. Terrence Hill, last week's interview was amazing. Brought back lots of memories. Yes. I mean, I have so many memories of listening to taping Red Alert show. Spook, in case you didn't know, there are people making reaction videos about your book. It's been all good so far. Thank you. I've saw a few of them. For those that I didn't see, thank you. I mean, I really appreciate that. I appreciate anybody who's read the book. If you want to talk about it, good or bad, you know, I put it out there, man. I put it all out there. Yo, Kenny, after Rappers Delight came out, it was 1,000 rap 12-inch singles came out from 80 to 82. Most never got played. What one song you love but you know no one ever heard? that I love that no one ever heard. There was one rap song where dude was rapping over "Love Is the Message." What was this guy's name? It was two of them, and he goes unos, dos, tres, cuatro. I can't remember how it went, but there was a song with a guy rapping over "Love Is the Message" that we actually had that 12-inch. And I used to love that song. I have it in my computer, but I can't think of the name of the song off the top of my head. Somebody could name that. It was it was rapping over "Love Is the Message." They played "Love Is the Message" over on the band, and these guys were killing it. It was like never a big record, but it was like a New York. It was in New York, and we had that 12-inch. Our business. Yes, please shoot me a DM. DJ Doc would be a good guest. I know. And you know, I spoke to DJ Doc about 8 months ago, and he agreed to come on before I even had everything set up. He agreed to come on the show. I'm going to try to get to everybody, man. I'm going to try to get to everybody during the next months, years, whatever. We got to get to everybody. Love and gratitude. What up, KP? A D-Nice interview would be dope. A D-Nice interview would be incredible. D-Nice is the hardest working man out right now. If I could lock D-Nice down, that would be dope. And you know what's funny? Last time I saw D, we exchanged numbers, and I put my number in his phone, but then his phone died, and I didn't get a chance. No, wait. I put my number in his phone, then my phone died, and I didn't get a chance to put his number in my phone. So D has my number, but I don't have his number. It's nuts. So I got to catch up to D another way, man. Be nice to see Easy Mo B on the show. That's my dude. Shout out to Easy Mo B. Yeah, that would be dope. There's a lot of people that would be dope. I mean, Easy Mo B, credible producer. Eric King, what is your take on the debate on who started hip hop? Everything seems to be taken from the blacks. I remember of Zulu Nation that studied my hip hop history. My older brothers are Black Space. Yeah, my brother. There's a viral video going around of my brother talking about it, and there's a lot of controversy. He's getting a lot of heat online for saying that there was a combination of people. He said American Black, Jamaicans, and Puerto Ricans all contributed to the creation of hip hop, and he's getting a lot of flack for that. I don't see why. Like I said, we were little kids when hip hop was created, but I've said on this channel, this is my take, even though, you know, I wasn't there, so I try to listen to what the elders say. Whatever they say is what it was. I mean, I was there, but like I said, I was a little boy. Hip hop, 4 main elements: rapping, breakdancing, graffiti, DJing. That's all hip hop, and they were all equal. Matter of fact, there was a time when rap was probably the least of the 4. Now, if you look at all 4 of those being equal, graffiti in New York City, the Latin community had a real stronghold on that graffiti world. Now, I wasn't deep in the graffiti world, but I know enough to know that a lot of the legends of the graffiti world are Latin dudes. So in that respect, in that fourth of hip hop, they were heavy. If you look at breaking, I don't know how heavy. I know that the Spanish community was heavy a little in the 80s. I don't know how heavy they were in the 70s. That'd be a question for Crazy Legs, who I would love to get on here. That'd be a question for Crazy Legs and Rocksteady to really answer that question. But I know that Rocksteady and them really brought breaking to the forefront, those crews. So if you look at graffiti and you look at breaking, the Spanish dudes were heavy. Now, if you look at DJing, that was we're giving Kool Herc, a Jamaican, the nod, even though after Kool Herc it was heavily dominated by African Americans, but Jamaicans were in the mix, like Chris said, Kool Herc. And then if you look at the rap aspect of it, it's dominated by African Americans. So, it depends on to me, it depends on which section of hip hop you're talking about. But then again, like I said, I was a little boy, so whatever the elders say happened is what happened. It's just that, like Fat Joe said, Puerto Ricans are 50-50 with blacks in creating hip hop. Now, I think that's a bit of a stretch. No disrespect to Fat Joe. Puerto Ricans are absolutely part of the culture, but I wouldn't say 50-50. That's a lot. But they were there, though. They were there. They were part of the culture. And I also look at like the audience as being part of the whole thing. I mean, if you are doing something creative and there's no audience, what's the story? I mean, the audience, to have a hip hop party, you have people on stage performing and you have an audience absorbing the performance and giving back the energy. It's like an exchange. And I think in the audience was probably a whole bunch of different nationalities. So, I'm African American, but to say African Americans were 100% created hip hop and everybody else was just afterwards, I wouldn't say that. I would love to hear, some of the elder guys really break it down, but I personally wouldn't say that. I'd say it depends on what part of hip hop we're talking about. That's a great question, Eric King. And my brother really goes into it. I guess it's like going viral this week. You guys could check out what he said, but this is my opinion of it all. Puerto Ricans were everywhere, man. How could you say they was? I mean, dudes were everywhere. Let me scroll down a little bit. Great Beard said would also like to hear from promoters, flyer creators. Yeah, I was never really into the flyers thing that much, so I don't know much about it. Sad part is of all the BDP shows that we did, and I probably did well over 1,000. I probably did like 1,500 BDP shows in my time, at least. There were tons of flyers that I had, flyers, little flyers, big flyers, and I just tossed them. I wish I had kept all of them. Terrence Hill says, I'm on chapter 3 of your book. I love it. I do know most of the story already. You know most of the story already? Wow. Thank you so much for purchasing the book, Terrence Hill. I'm amazed that you know most of the story because a lot of what's in the book has never been mentioned before until I put it in the book. So I'm interested to know how you know most of the story already. But thank you so much. Please, let me know how you know so much. Do you know somebody in our family? Benny Doyle, R.I.P. Shaba from Breaking. Yes. Triggs 802, do Heather B be bullying you, Kenny? She tries to. I've known Heather since she was 17 years old. Imagine that. Me and her go way back. Kenny, do you have an epic fail about Eric B and Rakim? Not an epic fail. I've been around Rakim a few times. I saw a funny, not a funny, but like an interesting, I have an interesting observation of Eric B. Maybe one day I'll talk, not Eric B, Rakim. Maybe one day I'll talk about it. I don't really know Eric B that well, but Rakim, I've seen him and, he's always been cool, always been nice to me. Shout out to the God. Come on the channel, Ra. Not an epic fail, but I've been around Rakim, so I definitely have a story. One day I will tell it. Eric King, I have connections to Stet. That's dope. Tell him Kenny Parker would love for you to come on the show. Any of the members. I'm going to scroll down a bit. Let's see. Robbie the Danger. Once again, thank you so much, my brother. Spoiler alert. Does the original KRS demo tape with the dog barking still exist? That's a spoiler. No, I don't have it. No, I'm going to say no. I wish that tape still existed, y'all. I wish that tape still existed. It's a spoiler, so I'm not even going to tell y'all what that's about. But no, the answer to that is no, not to my knowledge. Terrell McMillan, thank you so much. I really appreciate your contribution to the channel, my brother. KP, do you remember when Mo D came on the radio and called out LL to a face-to-face battle? No, I do not remember that. I did not know that happened. But yo, what station was it? Was it KISS or was it BLS? Was it in New York? No, but I remember that was getting. I remember that battle was getting a little heated. That battle got a little heated. Shout out to my man Mo D. Shout out to LL Cool J. I would love for Mo D to come on the channel and talk about it. I reached out to Mo D, so we'll see what's up. Raw Justice, I like the conversational tone of your interviews, Kenny Parker. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, man. Yeah, because basically I'm just having a conversation with people, my friends. And I'm just, plus we have no format here. Like right now we're just talking. I don't have a particular format. We're just talking. And even when the artists come on, there's no particular thing like, I just ask a few things that I wanted to know, and we're just talking about whatever they want to talk about. And I try to lead in some directions, but yeah, it's basically just a conversation. I appreciate that, Rod Justice. I love my booba. KP, what in the world ever happened to singer rapper Harmony from BDP? That's a good question. I have not seen or spoken to Harmony since 1990. 92. That was Miss Melody's sister. Rest in peace to Miss Melody. That was her sister. I have no idea what happened to Harmony. Shout out to Harmony wherever you are in the world. I hope everything is good with you. I haven't spoken to her in well over 30 years, y'all. Jay Philly, have you seen the documentary Microphone Check yet? No. A couple people have mentioned it on this channel, but no, I have not seen it. MMA Crossfire says Lisa is a wild throwback. I wonder if I Take You Home was the jam back in the days. It's the jam now. You know what's crazy? When I was in school, in college, she's one of the first celebrities I ever saw. We were in the airport going to a basketball game, an away game in college. And on the PA system in the airport, they were like, Lisa, please come to gate 45 or whatever. Your party is waiting for you there. So I guess she got separated from the cult jam, and they were all waiting for her. But we were near to where this gate was, so I actually saw Lisa walk past me on her way to this gate. She had on like a regular t-shirt and like sweatpants. She was not done up. She wasn't like Lisa. She was, I might not even have recognized her. But the fact that they said Lisa, and then she was like right there, I was like, oh, look at Lisa. I do believe she's the first celebrity I've ever seen. I saw Hulk Hogan in the airport. I mean, ever seen in person. I saw Hulk Hogan in the airport, walking through the airport. Also, when I was in college going to an away game, and he went into the bathroom, and my man, one of the dudes of the basketball team, chased him into the bathroom to say what's up to Hulk Hogan in the stall. Jocking, man. I think he was those are the first celebrities I ever seen in my life. I think it was Hulk Hogan and Lisa. Eric King, all these rappers you mentioned, I have their numbers. Please share. Eric King, that would be dope. If I could connect with some of them, we can have, maybe they'll come on the show. That would be dope. Joey Joe, Curtis Blow lives in South Carolina as well. Shout out to Curtis Blow, man. Emma Brown, I love that Kenny gives the interviewee space to speak without grandstanding or interrupting. He listens. Many interviewers don't listen. I mean, I try to, as much as I can, just let the interviewers talk. Plus, I'm very interested in what they have to say. And I also understand that people watching the show are interested in what they have to say, not what I have to say. You can hear what I have to say anytime. Somebody comes on the show, I want to get the most conversation out of them as possible. That's the goal anyway. Once in a while, I'll stick my 2 cents in, but they can talk as much as they would like. Thank you so much for that compliment. Let me scroll down a little bit, y'all. Kathleen's the literary coach crocheting. What's up? Kenny, did you hear about Pam Grier's paranormal movie? No, I did not. Let me scroll down. El Tico Loco. Curtis Blow needs to discuss getting dissed on Cole Getting Dumb remix. Yeah, I do believe the Just Ice. I think we spoke about that off air or something. I do believe Curtis Blow said something in a rhyme in a song about a girl named LaToya. Something about LaToya negative towards Just Ice, I do believe, and which caused Just Ice to respond. That's the story I think that Justice told me. And I don't think he said it on the air in our interview, but I think me and him had talked about it. ACAB. Yes, KP, did you ever try to write graffiti? As you know, your brother did. No, I did not. I did not write graffiti. My brother was very good at it. Here's a comment I was waiting for. Stephen Brooks, Grandmaster Chili and Stevie Chili T. Grandmaster Chili T. Yes. That song was my jam. Grandmaster Chili T. Oh man, you just killed it, Stephen Brooks. You just killed it with that one. Yes. Raw Justice Hip Hop. They just played Sound of the Police at the Stanley Cup Final. No joke. Word? That's dope. Wow. I do believe I did a breakdown of the Sound of the Police 12-inch on this channel about a year ago. If you guys want to check it out, I go into the story about how that song came about, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, shout out to KRS and Showbiz on that. I know they get publishing. You get publishing even when they play your music in a stadium. Earl Green, what's good? DJ KP, you have some major people in the culture, and I appreciate you very much for that. What about interviewing MC Shy Rock? That would be dope. And I was on Shy Rock's show on Sirius XM. Shy Rock and Grandmaster Kaz, my brother, has a show on Sirius, and I went on there to promote my book about a year ago. I need to reach out to Shy Rock and see if she would come talk to us. I have so much respect for MC Shy Rock. She literally birthed all female MCs to me. Not all, but future MC after 81. Stephen Brooks, Grandmaster Chili and Stevie G is the record Rock the Message. Yeah, man. Stephen Brooks, you killed with that. JT says, at Robert the Danger, not the dog barking demo. Get the book for the reference, people. Yeah. Yeah, that was a wild one, man. Corey Flex said, we need the fans to do a top 3 guest wish list. I'll start. Prince Paul, DJ Premier, MC Shan. Well, Preem is, I was just with DJ Premier a few months ago. These people are super busy, but I'm going to ask Preem. Preem was another person I'm going to ask at some point if he could come on, maybe give us, maybe sometime. Dudes are super busy. I haven't spoken to Prince Paul in a while. MC Shan, I don't know how that would go because there's still some hostility there. When I hear him talk about BDP and KRS in other interviews, there's still some hostility there. And also to me, some of the things that he say don't be accurate. And so if he came on here, I might have to challenge Shan on some of the things I've heard him say. Like, for example, we did a show at the Barclays Center about 6 years ago. And we were all chilling in the dressing room. It was me, KRS, Tony Touch, Fat Joe, Hakeem from Channel Live, Bumpy Knuckles, a couple other people, Sun One. We were all in the dressing room chilling, waiting for Chris to go. Chris was going last in that evening. It was like MTV Celebration. That's what it was, the 30th year of MTV. There was like 30 groups on the bill. And KRS was going last. So we were in the dressing room. And we finally left the dressing room to go. I was DJing that show, by the way, with, I forgot who the host was. It slips my mind, my bad. We left out the dressing room to go on stage to perform. And when we left the dressing room, went on stage, MC Shan comes to our dressing room with a camera. And he's like, yo, Chris, what's up? Come out now. What's up? What's up? And he's like, see, they're hiding from me. They're hiding from me. And I'm like, we were already on stage. We were sitting in the dressing room for like an hour. He waited till we all went on stage, and then he pulls that stunt. And the only reason that I'm bringing that up is because I was there. And Shan never knocked on the door. We were sitting there for the longest. He never knocked on the door. He waited till everybody left, and then he did that stunt. See, things like that would make me say that he would not be a good guest, because I like people that come on and tell it like it is, like tell it like how they remember. So, if MC Shan wants to come on the show, that'd be dope, but he has to be factual, man. Anyway, that's my rant. But yes, Prince Paul and Premier, of course. KP, could you get Lord Jamal on the show? I can ask. Garden Fluck. Hey, long time. I could ask him. All we can do is ask. Damon Clark says, Yo, Kenny, speaking of comics, have you read Hip Hop Family Tree by Ed Piskor? R.I.P. No, I have not. I haven't read comic books in a long time. Let me scroll down a little bit. Gregory Nettis, Houdini Needs Their Flowers. They're the first rap group to have a double platinum album in 1983 from their album Escape in 83. Amazing. First of all, Houdini does need their flowers. I don't know if it was double platinum. I think it was 1 times platinum. And I'm really cool with Grandmaster D. That's my dude. I met Jalil once. I don't know Jalil at all, to tell you the truth. I met him 1 time. But Grandmaster D, that's my dude. And I saw him last summer, but once again, it's getting in contact with you. But yeah, let's give Houdini their flowers now. Great group. I remember KRS said in Out of Here, watching the television show I Dream of Genie, thinking, damn, where will I be large like Houdini? Word. We were sitting at home, rocking to all that. Gen X King, what about having Mick Boo or Rebecca Foster on the show? Shout out to these are my family members. Shout out to Big Boo. Shout out to Rebecca. Rebecca's doing big, gigantic things right now. And we're going to try to get as many people on as we can. DJ Thor, yo, Kenny, tuned in from London. Once again, love your show. Thank you so much, Thor. Shout out to London. Rod Justice Hip Hop, you never heard all this debate about who started hip hop until it turned 50. Yeah, that is a very good point. Because what do you mean by started? They're calling that Cool Herc party in 73 the beginning, the first real party, but there was a lot of stuff that even led up to that. But let's even say 1973 was the day. Let's say that day was the day, August 13th, 73. We're going to say that was the day. But a lot of other stuff happened after that. A lot of other people threw their little pieces in to get it to where it is. So what years do we mean? What's the cutoff year for started? 1980? Like, what's the cutoff year? 73, 74, 75? Like, what's the year? 77, 78? Like, what's the cutoff year for started? Because then we can get a better understanding of who did what, and we make parameters. What's the parameters? But you're right, there's a lot of conversation going back and forth. Gargan Fluff, KP, did you ever meet Percy P? I do believe I met Percy P in the Village. If I recall, in front of it used to be a store called Fat Beats on 8th Street in the Village. They used to sell records. I do believe I met Percy P in front of Fat Beats, if I recall. Let me scroll down a little bit. Once again, y'all, this is the DJ Kenny Parker Show. We do this every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And once again, thank you to you people who check out the show week after week. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are the backbone of this channel, and the reason why I come on every week is just to kick it with you guys. I really appreciate you. And shout out to the people that's going to check out the rewind and and leave comments. I read all the comments afterwards during the course of the week. I try to respond to as many as I can. I really appreciate you guys, man. Corey Flood, Kenny, were you a part of the Sprite commercial? No, I was not. Kenny, you should get Africa Islam on your show. Shout out to Africa Islam. I have not seen Africa Islam in decades. He used to run with Ice-T. These guys have wealths of knowledge. You need to talk to all of them. You're 100% correct. The knowledge that these guys have that we all need to get. JT, a throwback request. I'd love to get the Fresh 3 MCs on the show. Fresh was a huge record for me, still play it regularly. Man, I wouldn't even know those guys if they walked right in my crib right now. I remember the record was gigantic. Fresh, Fresh, Fresh. Yo, that's Fresh. That was a big record in New York for sure. I wouldn't even know where to begin. I would love to get the Crash Crew on here. Radio was my song around that time too. Def Rocker. The pioneers have disagreement about the origins of hip hop. Yes, they do. There's a lot of seems like the pioneers have been having disagreements for years and years. I used to go to, my brother Chris is KRS. For those that don't know, KRS-ONE is my brother. He's always, over the years, I'm talking since the Latin Quarters days, have always been trying to organize a lot of the original cats together and have some kind of unity, like to make a union, to get the story straight, to raise money. He's always trying to like get everybody together. And I used to go to a lot of these events and it always broke into arguments. I'm not going to say names, but I've seen some big names that you people know arguing with other people about little petty stuff. And they never seem to be able to get it together, man. And it's unfortunate because there's people who want to know the story and let's get one story and stick to it. But, Gregory Nettis, 95% was black, 5% was Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican was Rakim, father leader. I mean, I wouldn't say that, but 95.5. I don't know the percentage. Even if it's 95.5. You got to give Puerto Ricans their 5, man. Give them their 5, man. 95.5. I don't know if that's the percentage. I don't know, but there is a percentage. I agree with that. And I wish everybody would get together and just, it's okay to say that, it's okay to say that there were other races involved. That's all right. I mean, it doesn't take away from anybody else. It's all right. I just want to get the story straight, whatever the story is. If the real story is it was all Asians that did it, then let's get that story out. Whatever the story is, let's get it out once and for all. FU2. The main participants of the hip hop culture from 73 to 76 was 85 to 90% black. Puerto Ricans had a freestyle scene. Black people aren't saying they created that genre. I can go 85. That's my uninformed guess, just based on the ratio and the interactions with blacks and Puerto Ricans in New York City when I was growing up. I could go at 85, 15. I'm not mad at that. But this argument is really picking up steam. Man, we had an hour already, y'all. Sheesh. We're gonna hang out a little while. If y'all want to hang out, let's hang out a little while, talk a little bit more. I hope everybody's doing good out there. This is the DJ Kenny Parker Show. We do this every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nicholas Gilmore, hip-hop saved New York City from the gangs. Saved? I would say hip-hop led some of the gang members to a more positive way of expressing themselves, for sure. Because even with hip-hop going on, the gangs were still the gangs. But a lot of them found another way to channel their energy, which is dope. Tybro 2020, because of the documentary Microphone Check, that's why KRS is getting backlash by Tariq Nasheed of Hidden Black History fame. Oh, that's what the dispute is about? Great Beard, A Great Day in Harlem. Were you present? Yeah, the one, I think I told that story. You mean the picture that they recreated in 1998? Yeah, Great Beard says, correction, A Great Day in Hip Hop. Yeah, in Harlem, they recreated the old jazz picture where they had all of the jazz greats in Harlem. I think it was in the 30s or 20s. Take this picture in Harlem on a stoop, all of the greatest jazz legends. And then like in 98 or 97, 98, they did it with hip hop and had all the hip hop, not all, but a bunch of the hip hop stars on this stoop to take a picture. And yes, I was there. I was not in the picture, but I went there with Heather B, who's in the picture. I think she's standing next to the Brat. If I believe the Brat and Heather was standing together, and I went there just hanging out. And the funny part was everybody was there ready to take the picture. And they were like, you got to wait. We got to wait. And everybody's like, why are we waiting? They're like, we're waiting for Run. Reverend Run is late. And everybody had to wait for Run. And like, it's Run, so you just wait. I remember at some point he pulled up in the Rolls Royce and jumped out. He was all dressed in black. He had the Reverend collar, the hat, and he jumped out the car. And everybody just stood up and started clapping. All the rappers that were there stood up and gave Run a standing ovation. A well-deserved standing ovation, because none of them would be there if it wasn't for him. And it was a dope moment. But yes, I was there. CMC's Technique, thank you so much. I really appreciate your contribution to the channel. Thank you. Salute to you, Kenny. Did you produce Get Yourself Up by KRS-ONE Sneak Attack? It turns out that Pete Rock did a remix to that song I never knew about. Laugh out, your production is incredible. Thank you. I didn't know Pete Rock did a remix. KRS produced Get Yourself Up. That is a KRS-ONE track. He did that beat. I was in the studio when he recorded that, but I did not produce that song. But I did do some tracks on Sneak Attack. I haven't listened to Sneak Attack in a long time. I got to go back and refresh my memory on that. But Get Yourself Up, KRS produced that song. Blaze says, KP, you should post a weekly hip hop question as a short so we can come with our answers and get the debate popping. Yeah, I mean, we could do that. Like I said, I come on here. I have no real format. I mean, I started doing these lives like once a month. I remember I used to just come on and just say what's up to people just for a little while, and then we just started talking, and I decided I wanted to do it every week because I enjoyed talking with everybody. And so we picked Tuesday, and it's like, let's do it every Tuesday. And then people were like, we should have guests, and we're just trying to evolve and evolve. And I got more evolving to do because I want to take the show on the road too a little bit. But we'll get there eventually. But yeah, the show really has no format. So yeah. KP, DJ Joey Sacco, KP, you had me at Jimmy Spice and Flash in the top photos. Yes. Shout out to Grandmaster Flash. I ran into Flash and took that picture, and he signed my copy of Freedom 12-inch. I have a Freedom 12-inch, my favorite song by them, Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5. He signed my copy. And there, of course, is Super Rhymes, the song that blew me and my brother's head completely off. I wrote about it in the book. Super Rhymes, the first time we heard that song, blew our heads completely off, and I got to meet him right before he passed. Shout out to my man Zulu Jeff for making that possible. And yeah, and then of course Master G is here. I met him just last summer, and I got to talk to him for an hour, and it was amazing. Let me scroll down a little bit. Scroll down. Corey Flood says, freeze IOU. Still a jam. I don't know what conversation y'all having with that, but yes, that is an absolute jam. That was a big record in like 83. And when I mean big, I was in New York City, so I don't know about the rest of the world, but in New York City, IOU was popping. Terrence Hill, I'm a BDP historian with thousands of KRS-ONE songs. Oh, dope. Thousands. That's dope. Oh, so that way you say you as a historian, you know a lot of the story. That's dope. But thank you for checking out the book. There's a lot going on in that book, man. Gregory Netter says Hulk Hogan should give Kenny Parker a clothesline. I didn't want no problems with Hulk Hogan, man. That dude was like 6'8". It was deep. This isn't like 80. This isn't like 86. So Hulk Hogan was in his prime. Hulk Hogan. You didn't want that. You didn't want Hulk Hogan in 86, man. Nobody wanted Hulk Hogan in 86. Nicholas Gilmore, did you ever meet Alpo? Not that I know of. I was like I said, I mentioned on this channel a lot. I hung out a lot in the 80s and 90s into the 2000s. There's not many people that did it bigger than me in New York. And I think I hung out actually a bit too much. And I'm going to do an epic fails on what made me stop hanging out. My last times hanging out. I'm going to tell the story. But I say that to say I was in all the spots. I was in the Union Square. I was in Latin Quarters. I was in the Rooftop, the Apollo, Tunnel, the Palladium, Red Zone, like any club, even little holes in the wall, every industry party. I was at everything. And so were all of these drug dealers used to be at all of these things too. So we were all in the same place and time. So I might have met some of these people and not known it or, whatever. But to say somebody introduced Alpo as Alpo to me, I would have to say, no, I never met him. But I was in the same place and time with him. In that crew, shout out to Gangsta Lou, though, from Mob Style, who was in that crew with Rich Porter and AZ, Alpo, Gangsta Lou. My man Willie D of BDP, rest in peace. He introduced me to Gangsta Lou. And Gangsta Lou was a good dude. Shout out Gangsta Lou, wherever you are, man. Great question. We had an hour and 14, y'all. I'm going to get off soon. we're gonna get off soon. I just want to scroll down, catch your last questions. We're coming back next week. We might, if I can schedule it right, we might have a surprise guest next week. It depends on the schedule. Definitely the following week, I got somebody I just confirmed today, which is going to be interesting. So 2 weeks, definitely, we will have a guest. Next week, possibly. Depends on the scheduling. GX King, Kenny, when did Dapper Dan start doing BDP's wardrobe? I'm not sure, but as far as I know, that first album cover, that Criminal Minded album cover, KRS and Scott LaRock had the black and white leather on. That's Dapper Dan. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. See if I can catch a couple more questions, and then we're going to get out of here, y'all. A lot of people on here saying Alpo was a rat. I don't know, man. I don't get into that street stuff, man. And like I said, I don't know if I ever met him. See, certain people's names, once you bring it up, a lot comes with that. Somebody said, do you remember the Boogie Boys? I do. Gergen, Super Rhymes is probably the longest song I ever heard. Super Rhymes was 15 minutes. So was Rapper's Delight. And the crazy part is these dudes rhymed for 15 minutes and kept your attention the whole time. We knew all the words to these songs for 15 minutes straight. Not trying to disrespect any of the new MCs, but the new MCs, their songs are like 2 minutes. Dudes are making 2-minute records right now. 2 minutes. And it'd be like, in 2 minutes, you're like, 2 minutes is a lot. These dudes were rapping for 15 minutes, and then when the record faded, you still was like, oh my God. Just a crazy time. Not trying to disrespect anybody out now, but I'm just saying. E-Money says, DJ Kenny P, Willie Mays just died at 93. Is that true? Wow. Rest in peace to the iconic Willie Mays. 93 is a nice amount of years to get, man. Rest in peace to him. Wow. That's going to be on ESPN for weeks. All right, I'm going to get out of here, y'all. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that Willie Mays just passed away. That's a tough way to end the channel. I love sports, and you know Willie Mays is a giant. I'm gonna end it on this one. Jamie Morrow, what's good? First time actually catching the live. Welcome to the channel. Best thing on the internet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We will be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to the people that's going to check the rewind. Shout out to everybody on the check-in. I'm going to continue to read some of the comments, and I'll catch you guys next week. I'm looking at the comments now. Let's leave on this. Ron Berg, thank you so much for your contribution to the channel. I really appreciate you. Says, does KRS still have his Dapper Dan jackets? And when are you going to jump on the SP1200 and play some beats? We need a whole show. At some point, I have SP1200 right here. You guys can't see it. At some point, I'm going to dig up, dust off some discs and just see what's on them. So it's going to be a surprise. I'm just going to hit play and see what comes on. I think KRS said he had some jackets that he dedicated to the Hip Hop Museum in DC. So, yes, I think whatever jackets that KRS had, he dedicated to the Hip Hop Museum in DC. To answer your question. All right, y'all, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much, y'all. I appreciate y'all. One love. I'll catch you guys next week, 8 p.m. Eastern